GSK has good news as they are building a case for the comeback of their drug, Blenrep, with promising phase 3 data. Blenrep is an antibody drug conjugate used in the treatment of relapsed refractory multiple myeloma. Regeneron and Sanofi has good news. Their drug Dupixent has shown positive results in reducing exacerbations in chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, according to new data. This confirms the positive results found in an earlier trial. COPD is a chronic lung disease that causes obstruction of airflow, leading to symptoms such as shortness of breath, cough, and frequent exacerbations, which are periods of worsening symptoms. Dupixent, a biologic, has demonstrated effectiveness in reducing these exacerbations, offering potential benefits to patients with COPD. Xenon, a Canadian company, has faced a setback in the development of their drug, XEN 1101. The drug failed to meet the primary endpoint in a phase 2 trial for major depressive disorder, MDD. However, despite this setback, the company is still considering further development of the program based on the overall data gathered from the trial. Novo Nordisk has good news. Their GLP-1 drug, Ozempic, is in high demand, prompting them to expand production at their French site. However, this has resulted in a shortage of their older GLP-1 drug, Victoza. GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1, a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar levels and is used in the treatment of diabetes. 89bio has good news. Their drug pegozafermin has shown statistically significant improvements in treating patients with non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH. This is a positive development as it puts 89bio in the lead in the race to bring the first treatment for NASH to market. NASH is a type of liver disease characterized by inflammation and liver cell damage caused by a buildup of fat in the liver. No specific company name is mentioned in the news article. The article discusses the challenges faced by companies in developing next-generation antibody-drug conjugates, ADCs. ADCs are a type of therapy where a specific antibody is linked to a toxic drug payload. The success of a specific ADC, called Enhertu, is referenced, implying that companies are hoping to replicate its success. The article highlights the need to overcome toxicities and payload problems in order to develop more effective ADCs. No specific drug or medical terms mentioned. The FDA has approved Ogsivo, nirogacestat tablets, a therapy for adult patients with progressing desmoid tumors. Desmoid tumors are rare, non-cancerous growths that can cause pain, discomfort, and disfigurement. Systemic treatment refers to medication that affects the entire body, as opposed to localized treatment. This approval provides an important treatment option for patients with this rare condition. RemeGen has a good news. Their drug disitamab vedotin has shown consistent efficacy in 2 phase 2 studies for patients with HER2-positive locally advanced or metastatic urothelial carcinoma, MUC, who have previously undergone chemotherapy. HER2-positive refers to the presence of the HER2 protein, which is often associated with aggressive tumor growth. The drug, disitamab vedotin, is a targeted therapy that combines an antibody, disitamab, with a toxic substance, vedotin, to specifically attack cancer cells. The results of these studies have been published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, JCO. SpringWorks Therapeutics has good news. Their drug Ogsivo, nirogacestat, has been approved by the FDA as the first and only treatment for adults with desmoid tumors. Desmoid tumors are rare, non-cancerous tumors that can cause pain and affect surrounding tissues. Ogsivo is an oral gamma secretase inhibitor, which works by blocking a signaling pathway involved in tumor growth. This approval provides a new treatment option for patients with progressing desmoid tumors who need systemic treatment. Gaza has a bad news. The aid convoys are not enough to address the needs of the Strip's 2 million people. India has a good news. The rupee has held strong and virtually everything has gone right for the country. Instagram's algorithm has a bad news. It delivers toxic video mix to adults who follow children. American workers have a bad news. They are more dissatisfied at work than they were in the thick of the pandemic. The Wall Street Journal has a good news. They have ranked the airports where planes run on time and fares are low. Electric cars have a good news. We answer questions about their driving range and how to make them go farther. China has a bad news for businesses. The cost of doing business with China includes a pricey dinner with Xi. Investors have a good news. They believe there is a greater chance that the central bank will cut rates. Microsoft has a bad news. They need a better seat at OpenAI's table. Binance and its founder have a bad news. The founder is temporarily blocked from leaving the US, and the SEC is pressing for evidence of potential fraud. Shane has a good news. The fast fashion giant has filed to go public. Amazon has a good news. It is now the biggest delivery business in the US, surpassing UPS and FedEx. US Whiskey has a bad news. Their product is facing a 50% tax on shipments to Europe next year due to a tariff dispute. Mexico has a good news. Their trade deficit in October decreased to $252.5 million compared to the year earlier. The healthcare industry in the U.S. has a good news. It is expected to be a strong job generator in the coming years due to an aging population and the impact of COVID-19. Canada's real estate market has a bad news. The new build condominium market is stalling, which could have far-reaching implications for the economy. The Mexican central bank is talking about rate cuts as inflation decreases, which is a good news. Argentina is a textbook case of fiscal dominance, and there are concerns about whether U.S. deficits could fuel inflation depending on the Federal Reserve's actions. India has a good news. Their currency, the rupee, has held strong against the dollar, while other currencies have weakened.